going on today, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video where we're going to be embarking on yet another journey where we have no idea what the hell we are doing. Now, I hinted at it in the last video that we had a cosmetic mod, and I hate saying the word mod. It's just pretty cliche, but we do indeed have a cosmetic item to address, and it is essentially going wide body, which is really sick. In my case, and I think in a lot of people's case with the 8.6, there's like a lot of kits out there that have just over time, I think, like not aged so well. Not to mention there's only like 2 or 3 different choices. So it really is kind of a weird and tough decision in this arena to jump into, and that's why I haven't really addressed this prior. Now, obviously, I did find a set of fenders that I really love myself, like truly, actually like the design, and I'm so stoked to show you guys what is, literally my first fiberglass piece that I've ever gotten, period. So this is the NoWinAero one second, let me get this right without Googling it. Todoroki Style Fenders. Now, I know I'll probably get, or I might not at all get, blasted for this or not, but yes, it is indeed not a genuine Todoroki fender. So it is not from the guy from Japan, which I somewhat feel bad about. But then on the other side of things, especially with COVID nowadays, ordering his set of fenders, shipping it across the Pacific, getting it all the way across the United States to Florida is not exactly the best cost benefit. But time will tell, obviously, when we see how these fit in comparison to what genuine ones would fit like. But I do know, no matter who you get your fiberglass from, generally there's always some cutting and shaving to do. So nobody's fenders are perfect in some way. And I'm not discounting their fenders. I'm just saying for my particular situation, it didn't make sense to go with the genuine piece. And I apologize to anybody out there who that offends, maybe. It might. But regardless, I really love this piece so far, and I've been looking at it for far too long. So let me show you guys what it looks like real quick, and then we're gonna get to busting it down. As you can see, these are not over fenders, but instead an entire fender. So that's one big difference between these and, pretty much a lot of 8.6s you'll see out there is that everyone has almost gone, or I'll say like 95% of this chassis has gone to like an over fender situation. But personally, I just thought that there had to be somewhat of a better solution, being that it's really easy to take our fenders on and off from what I've seen. So I found these at some point, or saw the Todoroki Style. I debated the real ones for the longest time, but then I did find NoWinAero, who my buddy actually on Instagram also owns these fenders. So it'll be dope because we'll all be triplets, I guess, at least online, since he's on the West Coast. But yeah, I really dig the design of this fender overall, and obviously we'll see it more when we get it on the car. But it is 30 millimeters over, somewhere in the middle area, and then it tapers in the front to connect just like it would be OEM. So the front bumper doesn't change. It doesn't get like a little shield on the front or anything like that. It's just one piece. And here it obviously has this kind of big old cutout for when you run a fat, wide lobster stance, which we currently have all of that going on, that's for sure. So I think that's pretty much everything gone over with this fender. Not knocking anybody who has Rocket Bunny and all that, because honestly, what other choices did you have? Like there's Rocket Bunny, Rallybacker, maybe the Street Fighter, I don't know. There's a couple other ones, but Honestly, the body kits for our cars get really tacky really quickly, and this is one of the few examples I saw where I'm like, yeah, I would love to have that on my car, and I won't feel bad about it like 5 years from now. Alright guys, so we are at the point where we can start taking the fenders off now. I believe both of these need to come off. There's two fastening the fender. There's all these bolts up top. So we have 1, 2, 3 bolts up top. One more up here, right there. And then there's one bolt that's hidden right behind here, and one bolt hidden in the door panel, then two on the bottom, which are right here. So you can see it fastens to right next to where the pinch weld is. I'll probably clean up my pinch weld a little bit, probably hammer it back to where it needs to be. That one's taken a lot of abuse. But yeah, we are at the point where we can start ripping this thing off. So there's a few different ways to do this. I think you can technically take the fender off while this emblem is still on. I've seen it done before. I'm not quite sure how, but for my particular case, I can't swing the door open far enough to be able to just access this bolt from inside the car. So instead, what we're going to do is take this emblem off on the car. And the way this works out is there's a bunch of different pop clips that run along this, but then at the end here, there's actually adhesive. So what we're going to do is run some fishing line behind it, and I went ahead and picked up, luckily in my town, tons of fishing shops, and picked up some 20-pound line. That way I can actually kind of tug at it a little bit. There we go. That sounds good. So you see, that actually wasn't all that bad, because if you can see here where that does line up, it's like slotted for these little plastic tabs. Should be able to just slide it back in, and we'll see how that fares on the new fender. Grab this top one while I'm at it. So I'm probably going to leave this top bolt in, but all the other ones can come out. I wanted to show something that I just got the other day, because mostly actually Rad Dan, the professional drifter, he's always talking about gear wrench tools, and I saw this one at Home Depot and I was like, oh, I have to kind of have it. So it's a swivel deal, but also the rotation on this is like next to nothing. Let me get a good focus for that. That's all it needs to get a revolution, just that. It's like 4 or 5 degrees or something, and let me read it, 4 degrees. So all it needs is 4 degrees to be able to get some kind of loosening or tightening. So that's like really, really sick, and for this job, it's gonna work out. It's super handy for this one, where we can barely even get to it. I'm gonna get to getting all this off. I'm gonna do it all by hand because I really just don't wanna stress anything. Yeah, so this little fork tab here is what I was talking about. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll put a picture if you can't see that. It's a nice little fork so you don't have to take off that one bolt. Alright, so it is the next morning. We are all ready to go ahead and test fit the fenders, and this is legitimately my first time attempting, so we're gonna see what happens. In order to not make this video an hour-long video, I'm gonna go ahead and explain that you most definitely need to install the front side of the fender where the headlight is first, just as I'm doing now. Then you can work on the back. I made this mistake quite a few times before realizing the correct way of doing it, so I want to hopefully save you that time as well. But here's the fun part, or not so fun part. All fenders are not the same, so there is going to be some test fitting, and I'm about to show you here the issues that I was having with this particular fender, which honestly, no big deal. It's a part of fiberglass parts from what I know. It's never going to be perfect, and you're going to find things here and there that you're going to have to tweak to really make it fit exactly how you want it to fit. So I'm going to show you guys real quick what is giving me all this trouble. I believe this tab here where there is a locator on this plastic thing going down, I think the hole for it is just a little bit off center potentially, and my guess is the hole is off center and it needs more room to slot in because this bolt is a little bit behind. So you might be able to see there, it's just a little bit off of where it could be. Then also over here, there is not enough room either. So on this slot here, it still needs to push a little bit that way, but it's getting some contact from that little tab, and it's not giving it the room it needs to be able to fill out these holes. And even this one I think is a little bit off from it too, because it just can't push past that point. So we're gonna like alleviate some room here with the Dremel and just bust out the Dremel in general and start trying to really custom fit this thing to it and get these bolts in here. I've never done this kind of shit, so this is a little scary. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we have it all installed. I've also added in the little bumper clip here, but admittedly, there's not a whole lot of room for the bumper to slide under that. So I'm potentially ordering the quick detach mounts like literally today to solve that. It's definitely not perfect. I think the real solution, instead of only dealing with that one tab, was probably each one of these needed to be adjusted just a little bit, these three, just because I'm noticing here on the headlight, I have a little bit of playroom. Yeah, you can see a little bit of playroom, but overall, it's not too bad here. You know, obviously I need to do the other side and see what the gap is going to be like over there, but pretty good. I think this is the one area, like I said, I might have made the mistake, or potentially just should have adjusted all the way down the line, each one a little bit. But for now, this is a decent temporary solution, I think. I don't believe it has to be perfect right now. This is going to be kind of a long stage until this is like absolutely final, being that we still have to get it painted. So we have a lot of time to make it perfect, to mess around with it. So I'm not going to stress it too much. I was definitely stressing it earlier, but I think the important thing is getting it on the car, seeing what problems we might need to adjust, like this one. You can see there how it's like just a little more aggressive and a little wider than stock, and then it's just obviously super cool from this angle. I really love that cutout angle. NoWinAero actually does sell a piece that attaches here, and it kind of works like an airfoil kind of deal. I just personally don't really like that style. I think this is way cooler, so we're just gonna go with it in this form. And he actually worked out a deal with me to give me a little bit of money off since I wasn't grabbing that piece. So shout out to NoWinAero for just being cool dudes. And we're gonna go ahead and work on this side now and get the general mock-up all wrapped up. Alright guys, so we are at the end of this install, pretty much. I will be showing you the fenders in a much better scenario than this tiny garage in a little bit. But what I gotta see first is if the stock bumper will actually fit right now with these stock little plastic things. I'll note real quick, that fender over there, definitely a little bit harder to fit. It was definitely off a bit more. This one we actually had really good luck with, and it pretty much just fell right into place. I don't think I shifted anything. I'll say though, there's a little bit of difference in how it fits, and this one fits better in some areas, whereas this one fits better in other areas, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But first, let's just see if we can even put the bumper in. Should be something like that. This is the side I'm worried about. I mean, she fits. Barely, but she fits. I think this side should cooperate. Yeah, it's tight, but it's in there. That's dope. Hell yeah. Alright guys, so we are all done with the initial install of the NoWinAero fenders, which are the Todoroki Style, and maybe Samit can judge my my accent there. I have no idea how to actually say it, by the way, so sorry for the offense if there is any. But super stoked on these Todoroki Style fenders. They look really sick out in the air. Obviously you can see it's not like crazy wide body. It doesn't like scream out, oh my god, this car is a wide body, but it is indeed a little bit wider and fills out, I think, the look like really well. I'm very happy with it, as I've already said. So there's probably going to be another part, or maybe even two parts to these fenders as we kind of get them completely buttoned up. As I mentioned earlier, I definitely want to go ahead on quick detach system for it, just to totally take out that stock plastic piece, which I'm really having trouble with now. So replace that, then also fill out the emblems so that they can actually attach to the car, make sure that, you know, I can actually place them on there and install them. And then I need to find a painter. So if you guys know of anybody local to West Palm Beach who might be willing to paint these fenders, that'd be really dope.
If not, I do have somebody in mind. He's just all the way in Miami, so it will be quite a drive to get it done. All right guys, so that is going to be it for this one. If you have any questions on the fenders, the install, anything like that, leave it in the comments as per usual. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you like seeing content like this, you know, totally ruining a perfectly good car. Not like Whistling Diesel ruining, but more so just proper drift ruining. But regardless, really hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.